The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB TV.
Y'all ready for this?
Booyah, we are back. It is Wednesday, February 21st, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That means it's time for another installment of Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. My name is Bill Miller, co-host along with
Jeff Belknap.
And, of course, with us on the engineering board, the man, many trades and just all over it, the studio boss and honcho, John Stiles. John, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, John? Hey, so he's got new glasses on. I mean, he's had them for a couple weeks.
Yes.
Can we plug the place that you picked up these glasses?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
It's Retrospecs.
Okay.
Retrospecs, okay.
They are vintage and classic eyewear, and they're all these are the real things. These aren't remakes or anything like that. The guy who owns this place, been in business like 20 years in Hollywood, goes to all of these old eyeglass warehouses that have gone out of business and collects all of these and then brings them in the store, cleans them up, and sells them. And I mean, he's got. If you see Johnny Depp wearing a pair of glasses in a movie, they came from Retrospecs.
He's the guy. Yeah.
He's the guy. Yeah.
And I mean, they got just. I spent like 3 hours in there.
Nice.
I was going to go with the John Lennon glasses or something.
Oh, the John Lennon
Yeah.
circle glass. Yeah.
Glasses,
Wire go. Yeah.
What do you expect?
Those are classics.
Well, actually, we like the ones you have.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Which are what? I mean, how would you describe it? I was going to say Buddy Holly.
Buddy Holly. Yeah.
Buddy Holly, yeah.
Beautiful.
I swear to God, I have gotten more compliments on these glasses.
No, they're great.
And I've gotten 3 marriage proposals. Two are from women.
Oh, nice. Well, good thing you're diverse.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good.
Well, John, while you're still mic'd up, this past Sunday we had the open house here.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Bill, and thank you for coming out. And it was really great because a lot of old friends came.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And will be coming back.
That's fabulous.
You know, it was good to see a lot of old friends and people, and just, you know, and we here, Beth and I both just appreciate the hell out of the support that all of our show hosts gave us, and it's just, you know, I mean, you know, we think of this place as a family.
It is a family.
It is,
Yeah.
indeed.
And it's nice to see, and we're going to try to do. We were talking the other day. We want to try to do like every 6 months, have some kind of a party just for the show hosts, friends, and family, and do something nice for all of us. And you know, we'll see.
Okay,
Well-
so hold on. Are you guys going to be giving away fifths? Because I didn't know that you were giving away alcohol. Because if I knew that, then I would have came.
Dude, what did we have? About 10 or 15 different kinds of booze. I mean,
Oh, man, that's
yeah.
great.
Vodka we were
Yes.
giving away.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that was great.
And
Hey, and I'd apologize. I'm going to openly, and publicly, and on the air apologize for not showing up.
yeah, you're lost.
Well, I already know that. I mean, just from the description you guys gave me. And, you know, honestly, to have all those people here and, you know, everything you guys are doing here, it's definitely the place to come. If you want to do a show, this is definitely the place.
Okay, so now I got to give another plug. Okay.
Go ahead.
Bob Allen Golf.
Of course. No, just open.
Just opened.
Yep.
This is so freaky because we did a commercial for him,
Yes.
and he had gotten 2 or 3 different people that once he left the place that he used to work to open this place, they didn't know where he went.
Yeah.
They saw his commercial,
Oh, that's
and they were
fabulous.
like, there he is. And so they
That's
went
great.
down there on opening day, honest to God, and bought new clubs.
Oh.
Nice.
Well done,
So
Bob.
the power of advertising.
Okay, so,
And they saw it on your show.
oh, that's even better.
So,
I love that.
Yeah, Bob was just thrilled, man. He called and was just
Well, I can tell you this. I'm not going to go buy new clubs because I don't even have my old clubs. But maybe I'll go by there and buy a T-shirt or something. This place is right on the corner of what? Sunset and Fort Apache.
Sunset, yeah.
Yeah.
6415 South Fort Apache.
Yeah, it's great.
And you need to go in there. And they've got that simulator that swing simulator, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
they got a little putting green, Bill.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I'm there. I'm absolutely there.
And they've got a
Lord knows I need to work on my putting.
yeah, they can fix your clubs and put all kinds of stuff in there. So it's pretty cool.
Well, congratulations to Bob and
Yeah.
getting the shop opened up.
They were very happy.
I know it's been a dream of his, and it's finally come to fruition. And congratulations, Bob, because we know when it comes to Bob Allen Golf, it's in the bag.
I was gonna say it's in the bag.
Well,
Oh, come on,
didn't know you were
man.
gonna-
I didn't react fast
Let's try
enough.
that again.
All right.
At Bob Allen Golf, where's your game, Jeff?
It's in the bag.
All right.
See?
I'm
See, I
sorry.
knew. But hey, let me tell you what else is in that plaza. Bruno Tacos,
Yeah.
nice little taco
Yeah.
spot in there. Top shelf, which is definitely. I mean, you go in there. There's 20 feet of liquor in that place. So.
Okay.
Not that I've ever been there. But
Yeah, and not that we're booze hounds or anything like that, but we
no,
certainly
I mean,
partake in alcohol.
if you want to go in and actually, check out a place, you want to make sure that they have the full variety of what you
Absolutely,
want.
yeah.
So yeah,
So
there's
you
no
have
doubt.
to try everything because if you're going to recommend it.
Oh, is that how it works? Oh my gosh, it's gonna be a long weekend.
But
Good stuff.
and John, again, thanks for opening up the studio.
Absolutely.
Everybody had a chance to really see just what you've done with the place since you
Oh, this
moved
place is
in.
great.
Well, and I got to say this again, Bill, and this is, comes from the bottom of my heart. If it wasn't for the show host and you guys, we couldn't be doing this.
Absolutely.
And this is what, as you've stuck with us and helped us build this and made this what it is. And it's just, it's taken off. It's awesome. So-
Well, honestly, on our side, we really enjoy what we're doing. I mean, and without you, we couldn't do what
We
we're
couldn't do
doing.
what we do.
Yeah, so this
we
is
make
great.
a good team.
Yes,
Yeah,
we do.
No doubt about it.
And all you people out there sitting on your butts, give us a call and give them a job or something.
I don't know if I want any more jobs.
Wait.
I'm trying to retire.
I heard you were going after a coaching position that's open or something.
Well, no, there are coaching musicians, and honestly, there's a lot of things that kind of come to me, and I'm at a point right now where I just got to pick and choose, like what I'm doing, and it's been a tough choice, especially the last few years, and I'm trying to narrow it down to get to where one for my family, the how this could work out best for our family, but
Yeah.
Obviously for what we're trying to do as well. I mean,
Right.
we're building a brand here, and as much as sometimes we minimize what we're doing, but when you're out in the community and you hear people talking about, hey, I heard your show, I heard your show, that's the type of stuff that kind of keeps you going and keeps you rolling.
Indeed.
The comments that I've gotten about your show, the good ones anyway,
We don't care about the bad ones
Yeah.
anyway.
There's
have-
one now.
Have been about the work that you do with the kids in the schools.
Absolutely.
And local sports, and that's, I think, what, everybody talks about the NFL, the NBA, and all that stuff, but what you guys do to support the youth here and the high schools and the guys that are coming up and getting ready to make that transition, I think that's the important work that you guys are doing here that everybody appreciates, so.
Do they appreciate it? Or I think a lot of people miss that. Do you still think a lot of people are missing that? Or
I do.
yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Well, I mean, from your standpoint, because you're the ones getting the calls in for us, but
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of people miss what we're doing, and what I would like, even moving on for the rest of 2018, is more kids.
Yeah.
Is more opportunities, is more video, is more people calling me saying, hey, can you come shoot my video? I mean, that's we actually have
Yeah.
kids that will be like, hey, I saw what you did for so and so, can you come shoot some pictures or whatever for me? That's exactly what we want to do. We actually want to be on the forefront of exposing and helping people get to the next level.
Yeah, it's just to see when you're interviewing these young men and women, their families who are usually on the side watching.
Yep, normally, yep.
And they're taping it themselves as well, and they're beaming, and and it's an opportunity for them to to get used to something that they may or may not have that opportunity to do down the road.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's also some insight into what it's like to be a prep athlete here, in the Valley. I mean, it's very competitive as far as the schools are concerned. And then, of course, we have the input from a number of the coaches in the area as well.
Oh, absolutely.
And also camp providers and leaders and, the teams that are also, putting their effort into supporting youth here in the Valley.
Well, speaking of coaches, Have you seen Liberty's new schedule?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Came out?
Yeah, it came out, and he is going
He's going for the
full steam
for the gusto, huh?
Yeah.
Good for him.
So he's basically putting Liberty in a position where, first of all, I'm not anti any organization or whatever, but what he's doing with Liberty is basically saying, Gorman, you have a great program. You guys get the best athletes.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go ahead and set up the best schedule. We're going to go ahead and, see. Well, it is internet, but I'm still not going to say what I'm thinking. But you guys already know, like especially if you're a guy in measuring other people's stuff.
Yeah.
He's basically saying, I'm going to go ahead and schedule these teams.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and say, this is who we are as a school, and I'm going to go ahead and go after the top schedule, the top people. And it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, and I think that he is going to attract those athletes, that were within his district and his boundaries, as opposed to maybe taking a look at a private institution.
That's right.
And and I applaud him. I mean, I really do. And hats off to him. I mean,
well, the difference is that because Liberty's not a magnet,
mm-hmm.
the people literally have to move into his district for them to get him. Unlike Clark and Desert Pines, where we both know that Desert Pines has a lot of people that live in all over the city, but they're going to Desert Pines, not just because Desert Pines has a great football program.
But they have an excellent educational program.
Their educational program is top-notch.
Absolutely.
And they made it like that on purpose. They want to get these kids the best education.
Yeah.
Liberty doesn't have that, in a sense, to do that. The people have to literally live there.
Live in that district.
So for him to step up
yeah.
and take that on
it's a leap of faith that he is going to either maintain those kids within the boundaries that are already there, as opposed to them maybe being recruited by a private school to go outside of that.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. But I mean, he also establishing Liberty as one of the top programs in Southern Nevada, at least.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, they've been getting after it the last few years.
Yeah.
And they're going to continue to do so.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
And shout out to Coach Morocco.
Yeah.
Doing a great job. Keep doing what you're doing.
Absolutely. And, it's only February, but before you know it, these young men are going to be going to,
they're working out right now.
They're working out. Yeah. Now it's usually the workouts, conditioning, spring, and then before you know it, 7-on-7 drills will start. And then it'll be summer, and then there'll be 2-a-days.
By the way, I did see today that they're scheduled a spring game for UCLA. I think you and I should take a trip down there. What do you think?
I think it's absolutely worth it. Yeah. When is it coming up?
I think it's April 24th.
24th, yeah. I get you. Oh, all right, that is coming up pretty fast. I get a chance to see DTR.
Yeah.
Yeah, in his next starring role.
Yeah. No, I think it's great. I mean, and to already kind of see like the whole process. I mean, obviously football's changed a lot since we were young guys. Where we played the 3 sports. Like right now, the good athletes would be playing baseball.
Yeah.
But now it's like football. Then the next season is football, and then football and football.
Yeah.
So it's like these guys are working out year round.
It's a year round. Yeah, but it's never to deter from that one particular sport.
That's true.
Unless maybe there's track and field kind of mixed in there, or possibly wrestling.
Yeah.
For some of the big lads. But it kind of is what it is.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think we all, I graduated from high school in '75, so I'll give you an idea, folks. But I think we all kind of transition from one sport to another.
Yeah.
And even if we weren't necessarily playing it, for the school, we were playing it outside of that, an intramural or whatever the case may be. But you just sort of put something on the shelf, moved over to something else.
Well, I'll never forget growing up in Michigan in February, March Madness, playing basketball. It's freezing cold on the ice. We shovel literally the driveway so we could play, and literally beating each other up, bloody nose, but it kind of like dries on your face, because you caught an elbow.
Ooh.
This is what we kind of grew up doing. Nowadays, it's like more specialized. Everyone's doing, particular things, and you know what? I like it, in a sense.
Yeah.
I did watch Sierra Vista. They have a kid on their team, Maka Ellis, his name is, and he unfortunately got injured against Faith Lutheran. So, he missed the whole second half of the game. But Sierra Vista kind of kept it close, the whole game. And but watching that game was like, how fragile like an athlete could be.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you see someone go down hard. And he actually went down hard twice in 2 games. And if you haven't seen our Twitter, I mean, actually, unfortunately, in a sense, kind of caught one of him falling. And where he's going up for a rebound and came down hard. But, these kids, man, they lay it all on the line. And that's why I feel like obligated to help them get to the next level.
Yeah, well, that's always been our platform.
Yep.
And especially with 2017, we really, put it out there that's what we were going to focus on, in addition to our own opinions on sports.
Which aren't always great.
Which are always, believe me, you don't want to miss those. Our opinions on professional sports as well. But, prep and collegiate is something that, is kind of near and dear to our hearts and always will
absolutely.
Be.
But speaking on some shows that we might have upcoming, we will have upcoming.
Oh, yeah.
The March Madness show.
Yep. And
so
just
are we
get my
confirmed
calendar out here.
Are we confirmed with George Jorge Mish?
We are confirmed with the prognosticator himself.
Okay, because this guy literally lives, eats, breathes college basketball. Mostly Toledo and Mac. And I know he's going to give me some flack, but when you get on the phone, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to talk some junk about the running back from LA Rams, Todd Gurley. And I'm going to get you, man. I'm going to get you. Because I actually said it, and you denied me. So.
Oh, yes. The Todd Gurley controversy.
Yes. So when is it with the March Madness show?
Let's see. The March Madness show, I think we have got that scheduled for, and I just want to make sure I'm right here, is going to be the 14th, if I'm not mistaken, or the 21st.
Yep. Okay, so right before the tournament.
Right.
Okay.
It is the first Wednesday.
Okay.
Before the tournament starts.
Yep. Excellent.
Yeah, and then we have, I think it's on the 28th. Let's see. Is it the 28th? Or
we're going to be doing some draft action?
Yeah, we've got the NFL draft, I believe, is in. Is that the 28th?
I think it's like the next week or within the week after that.
Yeah. And then we have then the next one will be the Major League Baseball show.
So speaking of Major League Baseball, pitchers, catchers, showed up.
Yep, time to report, gents. It's close. You can
feel
it.
And I'm looking at Chicago. So they picked up Darvish.
Yes, they did.
I mean, what do you think about that?
I don't know. I think Chicago is I think they were very disappointed as to how they finished last season.
Yep.
I think, but coming off of the season that they had, which was a magical ride to begin with,
I mean, unbelievable.
It's a lot to ask for them to repeat. It's just very difficult in Major League Baseball to repeat. And so I think that they don't want to just sort of move further away, but that feeling that similar to what's happened with the Seahawks in the NFL, just kind of gets further away after winning that title and getting so close maybe that they're going to try to see what they can do. I don't know if Darvish is the answer.
I mean, he can get you some W's. I mean,
he can absolutely get you some W's, but I think that the problem they had is that some of their key bats went silent.
Yeah.
And for an extended period of time, they're not in the strongest of divisions to begin with.
That's right.
And so I think everybody expected them to just win, and with the same kind of gap that they had the year before, and they had to fight for it, And these other teams they're retooling as well. So I don't know if, again, he's the single answer. I think they just have to be consistent with their hitting.
Okay, so speaking of retooling, the Detroit Tigers.
Yes. Are you still guaranteeing a 100-loss season?
I'm guaranteeing a 100-loss season. As a matter of fact, if you watch this show and they do not win 100 games,
oh no,
and you call me on it, I'll buy you dinner at Golden Steer.
Okay.
I'll buy you. No, forget about it, all of you guys. I'll buy you dinner at Golden Steer.
There's a disclaimer.
If they don't lose 100 games.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
Fair. Yeah, and vice versa.
Which means that either way, it's a win-win.
It's
Because
win-win.
we're going to sit down and have a meal at Golden Steer.
Yeah, there's no loss.
And there's another plug for you, by the way.
Yes, there's absolutely no loss. Yeah, I'm all in. All in. Absolutely. Because I honestly believe they're going to win more than 100 games. Now, so I don't know where I came back. They're not going to lose 100 games.
They're definitely going to lose 100 games.
It's.
But hold on. Let me preface at this. We don't know what's really going to happen because the baseball season is very long. People were saying that Minnesota, which lost 100 games the year prior, came back and won.
Yes.
Basically earned a playoff spot. No one saw that coming. The thing with the Tigers, they're fire sold. They've done everything they need. I just can't see it happening. It's an easy wager. Either way, it's a win-win for me. So forget everybody else. Strike that.
Yeah.
I'm not buying you.
Yeah, just have people showing up here looking for their, all right, I'm hungry. Let's head on over to Golden Steer.
Yeah, well, I'll send them the old address. What is it on West Sahara? What's the address over there? I'm just kidding, man.
Right down the street.
No, West Sahara, the old studio.
Yeah, just send them over there. Yeah. It's actually they moved
I'll
to
actually
Smoke
give
Ranch.
you the guy's name as well. No, not Smoke Ranch. We're going even further back. I'm actually going to give you the address with the name of the guy that you need to talk to, and he'll have my gift certificate.
There you go.
But not right now. Not tonight. Okay, so a couple things that I saw. Kirk Cousins,
Yes.
$200 million. Is that possible?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Is that something that could really happen?
Yes, that's the scary part. It not only can it happen, it probably is going to happen. And this is absolutely, listen, no bad rap, but this is a guy who, for some reason people believe that is the next coming. Yeah, he is on, at best, a mediocre team. And who is always going to be, for whatever reason, a second or third place team in that division.
No doubt.
Yeah. And a division that only really is getting better because there's no way the Giants are going to be the same, awful team that they were this past season.
No, they're going to snap back.
They're going to snap back. And now, of course, we've got the trade with Alex Smith in place. They're just waiting for the official start date. Mm-hmm. But he is going to the Redskins, and Alex Smith is a journeyman quarterback who manages games.
Yeah.
But he does not win games, okay? He is not going to be that single entity that's going to go out week in, week out, and, just take you to the promised land on the basis of your defense not being able to control the other team. Don't worry, I'll outscore them.
No. He's not going to outscore anyone. Absolutely not going to outscore anyone.
And this is not Philadelphia's defense. This is a Washington Redskins defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where do you? So you take you take Kirk Cousins out of that equation. He's no longer going to be Washington's headache. He's going to be somebody else's headache. So what team are you going to get him on? A team that already has this lights-out, blistering defense, all he has to do is manage? Well, I think those teams already have quarterbacks in place.
So you don't think Kirk Cousins can score points?
Oh, I think he can put up points, just not enough of them.
Well, I look at it a little bit different. I think Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. Alex Smith is more of like the game manager type of like the guy that's going to just give you enough to win. Even though this year – the amount of rushing first downs that this guy had shocked me because he actually went out and actually was rushing the ball and actually doing some stuff, and which was a little surprising to me.
Well, I don't think people expect him to rush.
Right. Exactly.
So he has that,
But he has the ability, though.
Yeah, but he, and it has to be the right set of circumstances for him to rush for a first down because he has no real wheels to speak of. But if he sees that opportunity, he has the ability to do it. And again, I just don't know if that he has the weapons in Washington that are going to allow him to take Washington to that next level.
No, it's going to be really hard to do in that division. I mean, because you have to beat both of those teams twice. I mean, let's just use the Lions as an example. The Lions went 5-1 in their division and didn't make the playoffs. So it's not always about beating those division teams. It's about beating the other teams, and I just don't see Washington doing that.
And again, Dallas didn't have a great sophomore year season as far as Dak is concerned, but I believe they're going to absolutely bounce back. Philadelphia is going to be Philadelphia. The
Right.
Eagles are going to do well, whoever is in that quarterback position. So there it is, folks. So now you have the real possibility that you're going to be fighting for your life every week in that division.
Yeah.
It's a cannibalistic division.
Well, not only that, but I mean, think about this: the whole Ezekiel Elliott drama, that went the whole year. Is he suspended? Is he not suspended? And that kind of takes a toll on all the players. I mean, even though it obviously is going to hurt him as a running back, but what about all the other players?
Yeah.
They're not knowing what's going to happen. Then finally, when the anvil dropped, in a sense, then they were okay, yeah, we're without our star guy. This year's going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any obstacles, roadblocks, anything else happening.
Right.
They can actually focus on winning games. I think it's going to be great. I mean, it's going to be really good to see that division step up. And, your opinion. And this is just an opinion, folks.
Yes.
Can Philly come back?
Yes. I think that that team has the and let me preface this. It also is going to depend on whether Wentz is back. And they are in that position where, they have to make a decision. Foles, this is the most valuable he will ever be in his career as of right this minute. And I don't think Philadelphia is in a position to afford to pay him what he feels he's worth.
Absolutely not. He's got to go.
And at the same time, is Carson Wentz going to come back and be that guy?
Yes.
And is he going to be able, he's not going to be skittish, not going to be a little gun shy. And, is he damaged goods?
Yeah. Well, I think that's anytime somebody gets injured, you kind of always have to think are they really going to be
Is
able
it
to
a long-term issue?
is it going to, but in Carson Wentz's issue, I think, or situation, I think that this guy had no intentions of being injured. Even when you see the hit where he got hurt, it wasn't he probably gets hit like that all the time. He just happened to have his foot in a little bit different position.
An odd position.
Yeah.
And
when he got hit, so it became an injury. And, obviously, when you're talking about big money in the NFL, when these guys get hurt, they're looking at these guys as an investment. If you have a quarterback that's really, where you're not really sure about him, you start this guy. You already throw him back in there. You're screw it. He's out of here next year anyway. But when you take the detail and everything when it comes to a quarterback or a running back or,
right.
some of these other people, you really have to make sure you're investing in him. And I think that's what Philly did with him. They realized that this is a long-term investment with Wentz.
Well, I'm glad they did.
And when you look at other quarterbacks, there are other quarterbacks that are long-term investments and some that aren't so long-term investments. So, it's just like business. Come on. Let's really look at it here.
So, all right. So let's, so while we're on Carson Wentz in Philadelphia, you see Philadelphia doing something with Foles.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it has to happen.
So where do you see him landing?
There are a lot of teams that, one, could either use a starting quarterback.
Oh, absolutely.
But every team needs Nick Foles. Every team in the league needs Nick Foles, the guy that's going to come off the bench and not miss a step and win the Super Bowl for you.
And that is absolutely the last position that he wants to be in. He does not want to be that guy who's going to be holding the clipboard, who's ready to go in and not hurt you.
Yeah, well.
Because A, nobody's going to pay the kind of money for that guy to be sitting around holding a clipboard. Wherever he goes with the kind of money that he is going to want, it has to be a starting position.
Yeah.
So, I'm thinking there are teams that could certainly use him, and I just don't know which one is going to be the best fit for him.
Can I say that I'm not completely sold on Nick Foles?
Sure.
Okay.
Hey, listen.
Good. I just said it because
3 phenomenal games. Well, not
3
phenomenal.
games.
Two phenomenal games and 1 game that he managed to win.
Yeah, he won.
Okay, the Atlanta game.
Yeah.
But 2 phenomenal games. No, that does not make you a star quarterback. In the NFL, it's what have you done for me lately? Well, came off the bench, and I won a Super Bowl. That's it. That's his resume right now.
I mean, it's going to get him paid.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, when you really look at it, Matt Castle won a bunch of games for the Patriots.
And where is he now?
Went to the Chiefs, was garbage.
Absolutely.
You know, other quarterbacks have done this exact same.
Oh my God.
Stuff. So, and the thing is, there was actually a pre-Nick Foles, like pre-Eagles. There was that quarterback that got benched.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you haven't developed into a quarterback potential that is winning games. I'm not saying that. You won the Super Bowl. I mean, there's no much to be said. And not only that, but like slung the ball, did very well.
Yeah.
With a quarterback coach, So what happens when he goes to another team that doesn't have that quarterback focus?
Oh, it has got to be the right program.
Yeah.
And I think that he realizes that as well. But this has been sort of the season of the comeback quarterbacks. Okay, you've got Case Keenum in Minnesota.
Who no one gave any sort
with
of
Teddy
anything.
Bridgewater on the bench.
Yep.
So where's your scenario there? Okay, Kirk Cousins. What do you think would be the best fit for Kirk Cousins? Because I keep hearing teams like Denver.
I mean, Denver, without a doubt.
I hear
is
the
a quarterback.
Jets that they have enough room, their cap space, because clearly it's going to be a lot of
Browns?
cheddar. I think that I think the Browns are going to be all set to draft. Wait for it, another quarterback. Now I know our buddy George may think otherwise, but I guarantee you this: if you think that on draft day 1 with the number 1 pick,
that they're not looking at a quarterback. Well, they got a bunch of picks this year, so
yeah. So, but I
might be able to roll a dice.
And I'm thinking it's probably going to be Sam Donaldson, from USC.
Okay.
But for Kirk Cousins, I'm thinking Denver is a possibility.
Darnold, you're talking about.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Darnold.
But I think for Cousins, Denver is a destination. I think the Jets, obviously, a place that can certainly use a quarterback, and they have a relatively good defense. But I think that. He is going to fit somewhere. I'm just appalled at the amount of money that they're going to toss at this guy, because I don't think that he is going to be that guy. When you look back, did you get your money's worth? Well, we got a guy who put up some wins, but I don't think it's going to be that superstar
Okay, so
guy.
Just off the top of your head, because we didn't talk about this, by the way, but just off the top of your head, would you like to share your top 3 quarterbacks? Here, let me get my paper out.
Okay.
On the draft. Okay, so you already talked about Darnold. Possibly going to, you said the Browns, right?
I think the Browns. I think, of course, Rosen from UCLA, the chosen one.
Yeah, chosen one.
Chosen Rosen.
The chosen.
Yeah, and then I think beyond that, I think it's really tough.
Mayfield? You got Mayfield?
I think Mayfield will probably be the 3rd quarterback picked.
3rd? Okay. So Josh Allen from Wyoming?
I keep hearing about him, but again, I think that they're kind of hoping that the same magic that worked with Carson Wentz will work with this guy.
Well, I mean, if you really think about it, that's a great scenario, because you're talking about the talent pool that's around this guy. So here's Carson Wentz, that's a D2 quarterback.
Right.
Doesn't have a great talent pool. He's getting the guys there. He's doing the job. He's a game. He's doing what everyone's telling him to do. He has the size, has the strength, has the arm strength. He can run. The same thing as Josh Allen. I mean, Josh Allen. So let's just put this into perspective here. You have the top wide receiver from Southern California,
right?
And you say, hey, these are the schools that are looking at you. We got UCLA, we got Arizona State, and we have Wyoming. Okay, so Wyoming, if anyone doesn't know where that university is, it's freezing but cold, right?
Fortunately, they have an indoor stadium.
They do, but still, when you go outside, it's cold.
The problem is
it's like -5 degrees.
It is one of the coldest places in the United States.
So you have Southern California, where any university you pick is going to be a beautiful no matter what. You go to Arizona, which is where these guys are being recruited.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's great. The nightlife's great. The parties are great. Everything's great. And then you have Wyoming, where people are literally hurting like across the street from you.
Yeah.
You know, so where are you going to go? So my point is, with Josh Allen, this is the guy that's going to show people like the difference between a quarterback that went to Wyoming and actually excelled at a higher level without the talent around him. And this is number 2, George Mish. I will get you on this one because you dogged me out again. This is number 2. I believe that this guy is going to be, within the next 2 seasons, one of the premier young quarterbacks in the league.
If he has the tools around him.
Absolutely.
Because
well, in the
if the
NFL,
Browns
you have a
pick
better
him,
shot. Yeah.
I'm sorry, George. If the Browns pick him, you know, he's going to get thrown to the wolves.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's just not enough tools. He'll have to survive his rookie year. And I mean that in the nicest of ways.
Yeah.
Because he's not only going to be picking himself off, but he's going to be running for his damn life. And it depends on which team picks him. And the best thing that could happen with him is that somebody drafts, trades up to get him that has already some weapons around him.
Yeah. Well, so you're saying with all the picks they got last year, and they did pick a couple linemen, which is what they need, and the 5 picks that they have coming this year, that they can't put together a squad?
Well, and again, they're going to get these picks, and these picks are going to be rookie picks.
Yeah.
How often do you see what happened in New Orleans last year, where you actually have the rookie,
Defensive
for both
player
defense
of the year.
and offensive players of the year, or rookies of the year, are on the same team? Now, that draft, those scenarios just don't happen very often.
Yeah.
And so it's just asking for lightning to really strike twice. And again, I mean, people climb all over him, but that 1-31 record stands out like a sore thumb. I just see them probably picking a quarterback first. Because I think with the mentality is that if we don't, somebody's going to get him, and then somebody's going to say you should have. And I think they kind of look from the outside, looking at what are people going to think, which is to me the worst thing you could do as a GM in any sport. What are people going to think about it?
I mean, I think that's part of the reasons why they picked their first-round pick from Michigan last year. Jarrell Peppers, I mean, he's a good player.
Yeah.
Why are you picking that guy first? I mean, he didn't even play the whole season for you. I mean, seriously.
Well,
so
hindsight being what it is.
Well, I mean, but still. I mean, is that one player going to make the difference on your team?
No.
So, you have to make an impact guy.
At the same time, there's just a number of weapons that they need.
Right.
If you're an average NFL team, you don't go in with the idea, well, gee, we need DB, we need a linebacker, we need a left tackle, we need a right guard, No. It's like, okay, we made these strides this season. We just need to plug this particular position in, and we can take it to this level.
Well, I agree with what you're saying, first of all. But this is what I'm also going to say. There's only 32 NFL teams.
Right.
There's only 500-something NFL players. I mean, with the practice squad and everything.
Right.
You're seriously telling me that you can't do some research with all the tools you have and the money and everything you have to build a team that's competitive? You went 0-16, which I'm still upset because you tied the Lions record, which I thought would never be tied or broken, and I'm still upset about that. But are you freaking kidding me? I mean, did they really need, like, you and I to, like, go out and scout some players to actually put together a squad? I mean,
apparently so.
I mean, can you really, like, as a GM or a coach or a recruiter or anything, like, sleep at night thinking that the best that you could do is 0-16? I mean, that is, like, literally an embarrassing. And I said the same thing about the Lions. With the talent pool that's out there and everything that's out there right now, how do you go 0-16 in the NFL?
Honestly, I could not begin to tell you, but it happens. It happened, and it will happen every season. And the reason is that, I think that there is a legitimate arms race.
Yeah.
Year in and year out. But there are also teams that are just simply not willing to get involved in that arms race. And this is where I tell you it absolutely, positively must happen. There needs to be a merger between the Canadian Football League and the NFL.
Okay.
And the reason is that you could have an A and a B league in which,
Wait, hold on. We have that happening. Vince McMahon.
well, we have, where you have at the end of every season, the bottom 2 teams in the NFL are relegated.
Wow.
And
So
the top-
like soccer, for
And
example.
the top 2 teams of the B League are promoted.
Okay.
And I guarantee you watch how these rosters change.
Well, that wouldn't even change the rosters. If you told, just from pride standpoint, okay? Just from pride standpoint.
Yeah.
First of all, weather sucks in Cleveland anyway. And they probably be like, oh, Canada's the same,
Oh, it is.
But if you told them, if you guys are in the top, I like your idea with 2 teams, but let's say 4 teams. If you're in the bottom 4 teams, you're actually going to get bumped in the Canadian Football League. And not only that, but you're no longer going to make $750,000. You're going to make $75,000.
Oh, yeah.
You don't think that these guys would be like, I am damn sure going to make sure I'm not in those bottom 2 or whatever teams.
My agent better damn sure get me out of these teams. He was going to look at every season and saying, if you don't get me out of this.
Okay, so you heard it here
contract,
first. What is today? Okay,
February 21st, 2018. You heard it here.
6:40
6:40
p.m. Pacific
Yes.
time.
I'm telling you, all you have to do is, if you're a soccer fan and you watch, the major leagues in Europe.
Yep.
And right now, what we have going on right here
In Vegas.
with the Vegas, Lights Football Club, part of the USL.
Right. Who has a game this weekend, by the way?
Yeah. And after last Saturday, by the way, their congratulations on the first 2 goals.
Yeah.
For the Vegas Lights, and held their own against an MLS, a very
Twice.
good MLS team, the Vancouver Whitecaps.
Both games were actually really good games.
Yes, they have not been run out. They have not been run up and down the field. They lost 2-0 to Montreal, a very good Montreal squad.
That's right.
And they lost 3-2 against a very strong Vancouver Whitecap team.
That's right.
So this team is getting prime, and we've got DC United coming in, which is actually Freddie Adu's
On Saturday,
alma
4 o'clock,
mater.
or
Yep.
8 o'clock.
Freddie Adu's alma mater, DC United, and again, a very good team. So, but that's how, if you watch the Premier League in Europe, I am a huge Premier League fan because Manchester United is my team. You watch the last 2 weeks of the season, and where, these teams are racing to get above relegation.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely brutal. And you see the look on the fans' faces when they know that they've been relegated. You see the heartbreak. And you see the players, because it not only means a lot of money as far as television revenue, et cetera, but you also see that same weekend, the league below, the English Football League, the look
Playing
on those
or
fans
balling out, yeah.
to be promoted.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely mind-boggling. And I honestly believe that it would, you suddenly take that suck for luck mentality that, we're just trying to get that draft pick, and suddenly it changes the complete dynamic. Yeah.
It's funny that you brought that up, suck for luck. Because I did see today that Mark Cuban said that they should tank just to get a draft pick.
Yeah, and the NBA just slapped him with a huge fine.
$600,000.
Yeah, which
he probably laughed at.
Oh, I'm sure he probably keeps that in one of his cars.
Well, the funny thing is that he actually said it. That's the funny thing, number one.
Yeah.
The second thing is that, people really don't think that that's what really happens. I mean, that's really what happens in the NBA. I mean, when these teams get to a certain point, it's all about math.
Yes.
It's like, okay, we have to win 18 of the next 25 games in order to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But if we lose 18 of those 25 games, then we can be in the lottery and maybe get the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Are you serious? The fact that it actually came out of his mouth, he's dumb.
He's dumb enough to
saying
say it, and probably thinking, no, what's the worst they can do is fine me. And if they fine me, big deal. How much is it going to be?
600K is probably what? I mean, his annual income.
Oh, well, let's see. I mean, he's a billionaire many times over.
I mean, he probably gets paid, so he might have lost, what do you think, 20-30% of his pay? And I don't know this because I haven't looked it up.
Yeah, I'm sure that he's going to be sleeping indoors and eating 2 or 3 times a day. We guarantee you that. The NBA is another sport where this could absolutely, again, change the whole dynamic.
Yeah.
A promotion and relegation.
Yep.
And, it sounds far-fetched, and people are saying, well, how can you have these teams playing up in Canada this time of year? Well, I guarantee you, those teams in Canada are certainly going to be looking forward to coming south and playing their road games.
Absolutely, in Miami.
There are obviously some indoor places in Canada as far as some of these teams are concerned. I know Montreal has an indoor stadium, and I believe Toronto as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, again, it's a talking point because you're always going to have owners of some of these teams that are in that comfort position because this is really for this is the Billionaire Boys Club. And it's just a little notch on their portfolio in terms of their holdings.
That's
and,
right.
And if you can be even better, you get possibly a Super Bowl trophy. Then you can go down to the club and brag to everybody, take a look at one of these. How many of you assholes have one of these? And you get a ring too. That's what it is. It's not about the money. It's not about how much money they're making in terms of revenue. For some, obviously it is because they're simply not putting forth the effort. I don't believe it's all about tossing money, in terms of fixing your team, but it certainly is all about getting the right personnel in place to make the right decisions to build their team.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
Hell, they're doing it, in New England. The formula is already there. You see top players come in and out of that franchise, and they still manage to win because it's the formula, it's the process that they have in place.
Absolutely.
So don't say it can't happen, this happened, that happened.
Well, this is what I think would shoot it down, is the pride of these owners.
Yeah.
I mean, think about this. You're an NFL owner. You are one of 32 people that have your status.
Yes.
Are you going to allow other people to get any part of that? I mean, probably not.
No.
I mean, the XFL came in whatever year it was. Vegas had a team. He hate me. All the all the other good stuff.
LA, we had it was the LA Express.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and you think about some of those players actually transitioned.
Yeah.
You got the other league. What was the other league? USFL, where people transitioned to the NFL.
Oh yeah.
So, what you're saying is absolutely true. These players can transition, the teams can transition, but can the leagues work together to make this happen? My thought process, just thinking about it, is probably not.
I don't believe for a minute that this is ever going to happen. It could be a talking point for me. It's pie in the sky, but to me, it solves a lot of problems.
Absolutely. I mean, and not only that, but it builds up players. It builds up the brands in exactly what they're trying to do.
Yeah. At one time, and again, I'm old enough to remember. I think I'm the only one in this room, other than John, that's old enough to remember that the NFL and the AFL hated each other.
That's right.
They loathed each other, and they're never the twain shall meet. There was never the same, idea that any of them had until they realized they absolutely needed each other.
No, there's no doubt about it.
And and today it is what it is, but not very many people can think back on that. So never say never. Yeah, but to me, it really solves a lot of problems. And you have a fan base in both leagues that is extremely loyal. You have the infrastructure and stadiums. Other than the obvious rules differences, there would have to be a complete consolidation of the rules, and obviously the same size fields.
I actually like their rules.
Listen. I enjoy watching.
I like the running guy. I like the guy running before the ball.
Yeah, and because and plus this where else can third and goal can you run a deep route?
Yeah.
Canada.
Well, not only that,
post
you got a 20 yard.
Canada.
Yeah, you got 20-yard end zone. Hey, we'll see what happens with all that. Any last thoughts? I mean, I know we got a few minutes left.
A few minutes.
6 minutes left.
6 minutes. Yeah.
Okay,
all right.
we got a lot of time.
NBA All-Star Game was last weekend.
Yes.
And out of that came, a proposal by the commissioner of the NBA about possibly tweaking the playoff structure. And that is where, as opposed to you have an Eastern Conference and a Western Conference, 8 teams, you would have the consolidation of 16 teams and then the brackets based on number 1 would play number 16, et cetera, et cetera. And ultimately, the idea is to have the 2 best teams in the NFL and in the NBA.
So
meet in the
basically,
finals.
what he's saying is we want 2 teams from the West and screw the East.
Yes, pretty much. That's about the
I mean, that's
size of it.
basically what he's saying.
Yeah, and but I will say this: the commissioner of the NBA, he's a forward-thinking individual, and he really puts things out there just for dialogue. And the idea, of course, is that he's looking after the brand, the NBA brand, and then plus he's also trying to pique people's interest during the playoffs.
Yeah.
And so I mean, and I think for a lot of people, it's like pump your brakes. This is nothing that would absolutely have anything to do this year. It was a talking point, and something obviously the owners would have to obviously buy into. I'm sure the players' union would have something to say about it. But again, it is a talking point.
I think it's a horrible idea myself. I mean, if you really think about it, the West has always been. I mean, I shouldn't say that. The West has recently been the division that's kind of scrambling to get that team out there.
Yeah.
In the past, it was the East.
Yeah.
It was the Knicks, the Celtics, the Pistons.
Yeah.
Those teams. So I don't like the idea at all. I mean, I think that what you should do is allow these teams to scrap, and it's not like the East hasn't won. I mean, it would be a little bit different because stop me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Is he doing that just so 2 West teams will play? I mean, because to me, if I'm the commissioner, and I'm not saying I'm commissioner status, or could be. Well, I probably could be. I mean, if you gave me the right tools, but I could be.
You need the right tools. We
With the
all
right
need the
tools.
right tools.
But I'm trying to get the 2 best markets, or the best what people want to see.
Right.
And to me, if it's the Western Conference playoffs, then it's the Western Conference playoffs. If your viewership goes down because they play a team in the East, then you need to work on that,
Yeah.
But it's still the team in the East that's going to come out and win. I mean, I don't know, maybe set up a 4-square division where you have North, South, East, West, and kind of do it that
Brackets.
way. Yeah,
Similar to
yeah,
March
yeah. I mean,
Madness.
if you want to do it like that, I could see what he's saying. But just to say it's going to be any team, I don't necessarily agree with that. I still think you need to. Those teams are in divisions. If you want to pull off, a way to figure that out, it has to be within those divisions: North, South, East, West.
Well, I think if you do it, I think in terms of the regular season, you have to open up more games against, Western Conference against Eastern Conference.
Which they've
teams.
done, and actually in the last few years.
But at the same time, early on, you suddenly get, potential logistic nightmares.
Right.
Where suddenly you have,
These guys are billionaires. Who cares?
well, I mean, the owners there, they're gonna do fine. They're gonna sleep well. But you have players suddenly traveling, from L.A., for an opening round from L.A. to New York.
Well, I think that, if you really did it, if you want to talk about logistics, which you're in, by the way,
Yep.
and I have some experience in, I think what you should do is just set it up where your schedule is set up on a circle, and you head back home every once in a while, and
Yeah.
which is I think what I'm kind of seeing happen. I mean, if you don't believe that, look at the Golden Knights, who are doing very well, by the way.
Right.
Their Golden Knights schedule, they're playing all Canadian teams on this homestand.
Ooh.
I mean, it's like Canada. With tonight they have a game, and then their final home game is against Canada as well.
Yeah, I don't think it's a great idea. I put it out there on the basis of a newsworthy item.
Yeah.
And I don't think the owners will accept it because I think that at the same time, they for whatever reason. To me, as far as the players are concerned, it's going to stretch out the playoffs, which are already too long anyway, as far as the NBA is concerned.
Oh.
Yeah. And this is just
They
another
play
reason
year-round,
to add
don't they?
another day in the early rounds. Yeah, I mean, as it is, it absolutely seems year round.
Yeah. Okay, so two bets that I'm really feeling right now. I took the Golden Knights at 15-1. I took them again at 7-1. I put 100 apiece on it. I'll expose myself a little bit. I really feel like that they have an opportunity. They literally went to the favorite this week.
Wow.
To win the whole thing, which I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but I called it earlier, several shows ago, that they would at least compete for the Stanley Cup.
Absolutely.
And then the NBA, on the NBA side, the updated lines came out today. The Raptors at 12-1. I'm saying take the Raptors at 12-1. I think that's the best bargain on it coming out of the East.
I think that is because Toronto's definitely stepped up their game.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, well, folks, we're at the end of the hour. It has been great. It's been fast-paced, and it has just
Without breaks.
absolutely blown by. That's why there were no breaks. So join us next Wednesday, February 28th, the last day in February, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for another installment of Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. Have a great week.
God bless.